I'm counting down the top 15 most impressive religious buildings in the world. Let's start with number 15, Tanah Lot. Tanah Lot is one of Bali's most iconic landmarks. It's known for its stunning seaside temple and its unique location. It's perched on a rocky outcrop amid the crashing waves of the Indian Ocean. It's one of 7 ocean temples on the coast of Bali that collectively form a spiritual barrier against malevolent forces. Now, the true origins of Pura Tanah Lot, the temple atop this remarkable rock formation, is shrouded in mystery and myth. I guess just the way we like it, I guess. Legend has it that the temple was established in the 16th century by a revered holy man who is now venerated in Balinese culture. This temple, along with the other 6 sea temples along Bali's coastline, serves to honor the guardian spirits of the sea. At low tide, visitors can walk across the exposed seabed to reach Tanah Lot. While the temple's outer sanctum is open to visitors and offers blessings from holy men, the inner sanctum remains off-limits to non-Balinese individuals. Adventurous spirits can explore the small caves revealed by the receding tide, though they should be wary of the temple's snake guardians. One of the caves, located on the beach itself, houses the sacred snake, and visitors can approach it to receive a blessing. Number 14, the Blue Mosque. The Blue Mosque, also known as the Shrine of Ali, is a beautiful spiritual haven located in Mazar Sharif in northwestern Afghanistan. It's celebrated for its atmosphere, heightened by the presence of thousands of pure white doves that roost in its trees, roof, and sidewalks. According to local legend, the mosque's sanctity is so profound that any dove entering its vicinity with a speck of color on its feathers will become completely white. Its origins are steeped in legend. It's said that the Middle Eastern mullah had a dream in which he discovered the bones of Ali bin Abi Talib, the son-in-law and cousin of the Prophet Muhammad, rested in what is now northwestern Afghanistan. Captivated by this vision, Ahmed Sanjar, Sultan of the Seljuk Empire from 1118 to 1157, constructed a shrine in Ali's honor. The shrine attracted a multitude of devout Muslims, leading to the establishment of the city of Mazar-i-Sharif around it. However, the original shrine faced destruction way back during Genghis Khan's westward conquests. Yet in 1481, Sultan Mizra built the Shrine of Ali, transforming it into the Grand Blue Mosque that still stands today. The Blue Mosque is a masterpiece of Islamic architecture, employing intricately painted clay tiles that give the structure a seemingly ethereal quality, as though it's floating. This architectural illusion is achieved through the meticulous design and arrangement of the tiles, which are continually replaced due to weathering and the frequent pilfering by pilgrims seeking religious keepsakes. On average, 2 square feet of tiles are replaced each day to maintain the mosque's stunning facade. Number 13, Sha Shara. Visiting the Sha Shara Mosque in Shiraz, Iran is often described as a profoundly spiritual experience, but the visual spectacle inside the central temple is nothing short of mesmerizing. The interior glitters like the aftermath of a disco ball explosion, with nearly every surface adorned in sparkling shards of glass and mirror. The origins of this dazzling sight are rooted in a blend of legend and history. Around 900 CE, a wanderer noticed a mysterious light shining in the distance and decided to investigate. Upon reaching the source of the light, he discovered a radiant grave. Excavations revealed the armored remains of a significant Muslim figure, leading to the establishment of the site as a popular pilgrimage destination. In the 14th century, Queen Tash Khatun commissioned the mosque's iconic mirror ball decoration. She envisioned a space where light would be magnified 1,000 times, a concept that is beautifully realized in the mosque's interior. The name Sha Shara, which translates to King of Light in Persian, aptly reflects that vision. Well, despite suffering damage from human actions and natural disasters over the centuries, Sha Shara has been meticulously maintained and restored. Today, it continues to shine brilliantly. Its sprawling site remains a significant pilgrimage destination for Shia Muslims. Number 12. Kaihin Fushimi Inari Shrine. Located in the serene neighborhood in Kamata in Kawasaki, not even an hour's walk from the Keirin racetrack, is Kaihin Fushimi Inari Shrine, a foxy sanctuary founded in 1951. Established in the aftermath of World War II, the shrine served as a symbol of hope and revival for the residents of Kawasaki, particularly those in Kamata. What sets the shrine apart is its unique and enchanting collection of 108 fox statues, or kitsune, which embody the rich cultural significance in Japanese mythology. The Inari deity central to Shinto worship is often associated with foxes, believed to be the divine messengers and protectors of rice, a staple food and symbol of prosperity in Japan. These statues not only serve as guardians of the shrine, but also as representations of the Inari's blessing in agriculture and wealth. In addition to the main shrine adorned with fox statues, the shrine complex features a variety of smaller shrines, each dedicated to different purposes. One notable feature is a small replica of Mount Fuji, complete with simulated lava flows, symbolizing the sacred mountain's spiritual significance. Another highlight is the pond designed to resemble Lake Biwa, providing a tranquil spot for purification rituals. The shrine also includes areas where visitors can seek educational blessings, drawing parallels to the grander Fushimi Inari Taisha in Kyoto. Number 11. Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat, a Hindu-Buddhist temple complex in Cambodia, is probably the best example of Khmer architecture the world has ever seen. Encompassing about 400 acres within the ancient Khmer capital city of Angkor, it holds the title of the largest religious structure in the world according to the Guinness World Records. This vast complex, originally constructed as a Hindu temple dedicated to the deity Vishnu, was gradually transformed into a Buddhist temple towards the end of the 12th century. The architectural design of Angkor Wat ingeniously combines two fundamental plans of Khmer temple architecture: the Temple Mountain and then later the Gallery Temple. The structure is intended to symbolize Mount Meru, the mythical home of the Devas in Hindu mythology. Surrounded by a vast moat over 3 miles in length, the temple complex was designed to reflect celestial and earthly realms. The style is characterized by redented towers shaped like lotus buds, half-galleries that broaden passageways, axial galleries connecting enclosures, and cruciform terraces along the main axis of the temple. The decorative elements, including bas-reliefs, pediments, extensive garlands, and narrative scenes, enhance the temple's appeal. However, the layout, which incorporates galleries joining at right angles to form courtyards, suggests an influence from Chinese architectural principles. While despite the passage of time and incidents of looting, many original elements of the temple's design, such as gilded stucco on the towers and wooden ceiling panels, have been preserved or restored, maintaining the temple's historical and cultural integrity. Number 10. Canggu Narayan. Canggu Narayan, a 2-story pagoda-style temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu, stands as a beacon of splendor and spiritual significance in the Kathmandu Valley. Surrounded by ancient carvings and statues, this temple has weathered the ravages of time, surviving both a devastating fire in 1702 and the Gorkha earthquake in 2015. It is widely regarded as the oldest Hindu temple still in use in the Kathmandu Valley today. In fact, the entire Kathmandu Valley is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Dating back to the 4th century, Canggu Narayan is considered the oldest Hindu temple in Bhaktapur and one of the oldest in Nepal. However, within the wider complex, there are also shrines dedicated to other deities such as Lord Shiva, Ashtamatrika, Chinnamasta, and Krishna. The main temple is adorned with some of the most exquisite carvings in the valley. The diagonal beams supporting the temple's 2 pagoda roofs are intricately carved with the 10 incarnations of Vishnu. The 4 entrances of the temple are guarded by an impressive array of stone lions, griffins, elephants, and sarabas, mythical part lion, part bird creatures from Hindu mythology. Over the centuries, it's faced numerous threats, the most severe being a fire in 1702 that destroyed many works of art. The temple was rebuilt in the following years. More recently, the Gorkha earthquake of April 2015 caused significant damage to over 550 temples, shrines, and monasteries across Nepal. The temple was reopened later that year after restoration, and by November 2017, the Department of Archaeology announced the completion of the restoration project. Number 9. The Mingon Pagoda and Bell. Located in the Sagaing region of Myanmar, it's one of the most fascinating architectural endeavors on this list, even though it remains unfinished. Often referred to as the world's largest pile of bricks, the structure holds a unique place among religious monuments for its sheer scale and history. Originally intended to be a 500-foot-high stupa, it was conceived by King Padapaya in 1790. Now, the planned stupa was to house Buddhist relics and stand as a monumental symbol of devotion. Even in its unfinished state, it is awe-inspiring, measuring 450 feet on each side and reaching a height of 172 feet. Had it been completed, it would have rivaled the Great Pyramid of Giza, making it one of the largest religious structures in the world. The construction relied heavily on slave labor, leading to a significant drain on local resources and manpower, and this large-scale project wasn't really popular among the populace, which contributed to its eventual abandonment. The stopping of the construction is also attributed to the king's superstitious nature. During the building process, a prophecy emerged suggesting that the completion of it would result in the king's passing or destruction of his kingdom. Fearful of that prophecy, the king deliberately slowed the progress. After the king passed on, the construction was halted entirely. Although the Grand Stupa was never completed, the Mingon bell, which is part of the same ambitious project, was successfully cast and finished. This enormous bell weighs over 200,000 pounds and stands 12 feet high. It is one of the largest ringing bells in the world, designed to be struck on the outside since it lacks an internal clapper. Since the early 19th century, it succumbed to the ravages of time. An earthquake in 1839 caused significant cracks to appear across the structure, giving it an even more rugged and natural appearance. Number 8. Potala Palace. Perched atop Marpori, also known as the Red Mountain, at an altitude of 425 feet above the Lhasa River Valley, the Potala Palace in Lhasa, Tibet, stands as a fusion of religious and administrative significance. This immense complex is not only a marvel, but also a profound symbol of Tibetan culture and history. The origins of the Potala Palace date back to the 7th century, when King Songtsen Gampo commissioned a palace on the same site. This early structure, though significantly smaller, was named Potala, likely inspired by Mount Potala in India. The current iteration of the palace was initiated in 1645 by the 5th Dalai Lama, who sought to establish a residence that could serve as both his religious and governmental roles. Lhasa was chosen for its strategic location and its significance as a pilgrimage site, as well as its proximity to key Buddhist monasteries. The palace is divided into two main sections, the White Palace and the Red Palace. The White Palace, completed in 1648, once served as the seat of the Tibetan government and the main winter residence of the Dalai Lama. The Red Palace, finished in 1694, houses several chapels, sacred statues, and the tombs of 8 Dalai Lamas. Together, these structures create an imposing and harmonious blend of religious and administrative architecture. With more than 1,000 rooms, the palace is a treasure trove of religious artifacts and art. The palace complex contains over 200,000 statues and 10,000 altars, making it a crucial site for Tibetan Buddhism. In 1994, the Potala Palace was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with 2 additional temples, the Dalai Lama's former summer residence, added to the designation in 2000 and 2001, respectively. Moving on to number 7, the Sanctuary of Laslas. Perched over a forested gorge on the border between Colombia and Ecuador, the Sanctuary of Laslas stands as a testament to miracles and architectural ingenuity. This extraordinary church bridging the gap between sheer cliffs is not only a place of worship, but also symbol of perseverance and wonder. The story of this sanctuary begins in 1754 with a woman and her daughter who sought shelter from a brutal storm in a remote gorge. As they waited out the tempest, the pair experienced a profound miracle. The daughter, who had been mute and deaf, was suddenly healed, and they both saw the image of the Virgin Mary on the rock face above them. The news of this miraculous event spread quickly, inspiring devout followers and prompting a blind man to gather donation over 10 years to build a chapel around the holy image. Upon returning, he too was cured of his blindness, further solidifying the site's sacred status. Construction of the sanctuary began in 1916, and it continued up until 1949, with the church being built around the original chapel. The stone image of the Virgin Mary forms the back wall of the sanctuary, preserving the site of the original miracle. Designated a minor basilica by the Catholic Church in 1954, it's also known for its stunning neo-Gothic architecture. The church rises 150 feet above the river, its graceful turrets and spires standing in stark contrast to the lush green cliffs. While it is a deeply religious site, it also draws a number of non-religious visitors who come to marvel at that unique setting and architecture. The sanctuary offers a breathtaking view from its vantage point, with the bridge and church creating a harmonious blend with the natural landscape. Number 6. Mission Church of San Xavier. Walking inside the Mission Church of San Xavier, you're instantly transported into a realm of vibrant colors, intricate patterns, and some architectural craftsmanship that you won't find anywhere else. This 18th century church is an example of the complex interplay of Old World colonialism and New World indigenous traditions, creating a unique and stunning house of worship. The mission of San Xavier, sometimes spelled San Javier, was first established in 1691. It went through several relocations before setting in its current location in the 18th century. The church that stands today was completed in 1752 by a Swiss Jesuit architect. This mission is part of a broader network that sprung up across Bolivia during the 17th and 18th centuries. These missions were established by Jesuits sent by the Spanish crown to convert indigenous populations to Christianity. And despite the colonial history that involved the displacement and forced conversions of native peoples, the missions, including San Xavier, remain a remarkable example of New World religious architecture. The mission church here in particular stands out for its vivid colors and designs. Most of the structures in these missions are built from wood and adobe, topped with slanted roofs. The interiors are adorned with elaborate frescoes, detailing carvings and a rich palette of colors that reflect both European and indigenous artistic influences. Unlike many other missions in South America, the Jesuit missions of the Chiquitos, which include San Xavier, managed to survive after the Jesuits were expelled from the Spanish territories in 1767. Today, just 6 of these missions still stand. Number 5. Queen Ararwa Mosque. The Queen Ararwa Mosque isn't just a place of worship, it's a monument to the legacy of Queen Ararwa, one of Yemen's most remarkable figures. Originally intended as a palace in 1056, it was Queen Ararwa herself who reimagined and repurposed the structure into the grand mosque it is today. Born in 1048 in Haraz, Yemen, Queen Ararwa was the niece of the ruler of Yemen. Despite losing both parents at a young age, she was raised in the royal circles of Sana'a, where her education and intellect flourished. At 17, she married her cousin and subsequently assuming the title of Sayyada Ararwa. Due to her husband's poor health, Ararwa effectively governed alongside her mother-in-law. Her leadership was characterized by wisdom, capability, and resilience. Following the passing of her mother-in-law in 1087, Ararwa became the sole ruler of Yemen, a position she held until her passing in 1138. One of the queen's early significant decisions as a ruler was to relocate the Yemeni capital from Sana'a to Jibla, a strategic move approximately 150 miles south. Here, she repurposed the palace, originally intended for secular use, into a mosque. This transformation underscored her commitment to religious patronage, setting the foundation for her long-living legacy. 2 intricately designed minarets flank the mosque, adding to its visual allure and spiritual significance. The mosque's design reflects a blend of local Yemeni architectural styles with elements of Islamic aesthetics, speaking to Queen Ararwa's vision of blending tradition with innovation. Upon her passing, the queen was laid to rest within the mosque she had commissioned, elevating its status to a revered pilgrimage site. Her tomb within the mosque continues to draw pilgrims, seeking spiritual solace and historical reverence, highlighting the enduring impact of her leadership and patronage. Number 4. Nastava Church. Norway's Nastava Church is an interesting convergence of pagan Nordic traditions and early Christian faith. Dating back to approximately 1130 CE, this now iconic structure is distinguished by its unique urna style, named after the church itself, which emerged in Scandinavia during the 11th and 12th centuries. The church is celebrated for its intricate wood carvings that adorn the exterior, depicting intertwining animals and mythological scenes. This blend of pagan and Christian motifs reflects a transitional period in Scandinavian history when Norse beliefs yielded to Christian doctrine. Archaeological excavations indicate that the site has been a center of Christian worship since at least the early 11th century. The church stands as the culmination of several earlier structures, underscoring its significance as a spiritual and cultural hub for the local community. One of the most intriguing features of this church is a carving on its northern wall depicting a serpent-like creature being devoured by a 4-legged animal. This imagery has sparked debate, multiple interpretations. Christian scholars interpret it as a representation of the battle between Satan and Christ, symbolizing the eternal struggle between good and evil. In contrast, Norse mythologists see parallels with Nidhogger, the dragon from Norse mythology that gnaws at the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree, signifying the cataclysmic events of Ragnarok. Such dual interpretations highlight the church's capacity to bridge ancient pagan beliefs with the emerging Christian faith. Throughout its existence, the church has undergone structural modifications, additions, reflecting changes in architectural styles and religious practices. In the 17th century, the nave was extended, and new elements such as a baptismal font, altar canopy, and pulpit were incorporated. Although no longer in regular use for parish activities since about 1881, the church remains a venue for special ceremonies such as baptisms and weddings, maintaining its role as a spiritual cornerstone for the community. Number 3. Shidnit Peace Church. The history of the Shidnit Peace Church begins in the turbulent era of 17th century Silesia, commissioned under strict conditions by the Catholic Holy Roman Emperor in adherence to the Peace of Westphalia. This monumental wooden structure was born out of a grudging compromise to allow Protestants in the region to worship freely. Constructed between 1656 and 1657, the Peace Church defined the emperor's stringent stipulations. Built outside the city walls in wattle and daub technique, a method using wood and clay and straw, the church emerged with a grandeur that belied its humble materials. The design, based on a Greek cross plan, spans 145 feet in length and 100 feet in width, with soaring heights reaching over 50 feet. The spaciousness here was not just a feat of architecture, but a strategic necessity during a period when Protestant freedoms were severely curtailed in Catholic territories. The church's layout, featuring halls dedicated to baptisms, weddings, and the deceased, underscores its role as a communal and spiritual center for the Protestant community. Among the church's many treasures, the main altar, completed in 1753 by Johann Adam Hofmann, stands as a pinnacle of Baroque artistry. It was commissioned to commemorate the church's centennial. The altar is a masterpiece of intricate detail and theological symbolism. At its center, a relief depicts the baptism of Christ, surrounded by figures of Moses, High Priest Aaron, and Apostles Peter and Paul. Above a frieze bearing inscription, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased," from Matthew 3:17. It's supported by 6 Corinthian columns, and at the pinnacle, an allegory of the Holy Spirit in the form of a dove, and further above, a golden triangle with the tetragram of God's name in Hebrew script, symbolizing God the Father. Crowned by a lamb with a flag atop a book with 7 seals, the altar's intricate layers of symbolism reflect the rich theological and artistic traditions of the Protestant faith. Despite enduring a fire in 1758 that destroyed its counterpart, this church has persevered, bolstered by ongoing conservation efforts and recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2001. Number 2. Prambanan. On the island of Java, Indonesia, lies Prambanan, a rich Hindu cultural heritage of Southeast Asia. Initially commissioned around 850 CE, Prambanan's construction was both a religious statement and a response to nearby Buddhists. Over time, it expanded under the patronage of King Lokapala, becoming the largest Hindu complex in Indonesia, renowned for its intricate stone carvings and towering spires. The heart of it is dominated by the towering Larajongrong Temple, standing at 155 feet tall. It's dedicated primarily to Lord Shiva, and it exemplifies the grandeur of Hindu temple architecture. The upper terrace features shrines dedicated to Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma, while the lower terrace accommodates smaller shrines. Surrounding these central structures are over 200 smaller temples arranged in 3 concentric zones that once formed a walled compound, although the purpose of the outermost zone remains a subject of speculation. Alongside narrative panels, the outer walls of the temples are adorned with statues and reliefs of celestial beings and mythical creatures. The Shiva temple showcases Lokapalas, celestial guardians who protect the directions of the universe. Brahmin sages revered for their wisdom and scholarly pursuits are depicted on the Brahma temple walls, while the Vishnu temple features deities flanked by graceful mythical and celestial creatures. These sculptures not only embellish the temple but also serve as a symbol of the divine presence and protection. Another distinctive feature of the outer walls is the Prambanan panels, rows of small niches each containing a lion flanked by Kalpataru trees. The Kalpataru, or wish-fulfilling tree, is a recurring motif in Hindu-Buddhist iconography, symbolizing prosperity and spiritual fulfillment. Surrounding these trees are pairs of kinaras and other animals, adding to the richness of symbolism and artistic detail that adorn the temple. Number 1. Wat Arun. In a place as wonderful as Thailand, it can be tough for religious structures to really stand out, but Wat Arun manages to do just that. Although known as the White Temple, Wat Arun lives in Chiang Rai in northern Thailand. This architectural jewel transcends conventional norms with its design and symbolism. Conceived and largely funded by a renowned Thai artist, the temple project commenced in 1997 and underwent completion in 2008, although ongoing additions continue to enrich it. Chalamchai Kospipipat, the artist, envisioned Wat Arun as a tribute to Buddha's purity while uniquely exploring the Buddhist concept of samsara, the cycle of birth and rebirth. The exterior features intricate glass and mirror mosaics that sparkle in the sunlight, creating an ethereal, otherworldly appearance despite its youth. And what sets it apart are its thought-provoking murals that challenge conventional expectations of temple art. The vivid depictions in the main prayer hall narrate a surreal journey through the complexities of human existence. Imagery ranges from traditional Buddhist motifs to contemporary icons like Neo from The Matrix, Superman, and even Harry Potter. The murals juxtapose scenes of humanity, both good and bad, along with these symbols of popular culture, emphasizing a profound impact on the planet. Approaching the ordination hall, or ubosot, the visitors cross a bridge adorned with outreaching hands, symbolizing unrestrained desire, a visual metaphor for the human condition. Guarding the gate of heaven are various sculptures of deities who determine the fate of those ready to enter the next plane of existence in Buddhist belief. Adjacent to the bridge stand the Inari, mythical half-human, half-bird creatures from Buddhist mythology, adding to the temple's one-of-a-kind nature. A prominent feature is a lavishly decorated golden building, humorously dubbed as the most beautiful restroom in Thailand. Symbolically contrasting with the White Temple, the golden building represents worldly desires and materialism. It serves as a poignant reminder of humanity's preoccupation with material wealth and temporal pleasures, juxtaposed against the temple's focus on spiritual awakening and merit-making. Despite facing significant damage during a 2014 earthquake, Wat Arun underwent meticulous restoration, ensuring its continued relevance as a landmark. Future plans envision expanding the temple compound to include additional buildings such as halls of relics, meditation halls, and living quarters for monks, underscoring its role not only as a place of worship, but also as a place of spiritual contemplation and artistic expression. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.